Today I'm going to be speaking on Daniel 3. My main topic is refusing to worship. King Nazareth made a golden statue 90 feet high and 9 feet wide. King Nazareth sent messages to assemble the satraps, governors, mayors, military advisors, treasurers, judges, officers, and all the other provincial officers to dedicate the statue he had set up. The herald called out loudly, "People of every province, nations, and languages, when you hear the sounds of rams, flutes, lyres, harps, playing at the same time with all other kinds of instruments, bow down and worship the gold statue that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever doesn't bow down and worship will immediately be thrown into the blazing furnace." There were 3 certain Jews who were appointed to govern the province of Babylon. They were very wise and they chose to follow God at all costs. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were the only ones who refused to worship King Nebuchadnezzar's golden statue. Their consequence was to be thrown into the fiery furnace. But they didn't care. They chose to stay with God no matter what, even if it meant they were going to die. I chose to speak on this because the other day I was in the car and I heard on the radio a question on the gospel channel, which was, if terrorists came into the building with bombs and weapons and said, "Whoever believes in God shall stay here and die, and whoever don't, leave and live." What hurt my heart was that all the people who answered the question chose the wrong path. They chose to deny God. But one response stood out. This man said, "If Peter can deny God 3 times and go to heaven, I can deny God once and go to heaven." Wow. That hurt in my heart because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't have to think twice. They chose to follow God, even if they meant to die. They chose to die in the fiery furnace. But when they were in the furnace, they was unharmed or hurt by they were unharmed by the fire. When they came out, there was a 4th person who covered and protected them. That 4th person was a heavenly being. That 4th person was known to be the 4th person was believed to be the Son of God. He was in the fiery furnace with them because they refused to worship idols. They refused to worship false gods. And you might think there's no statue for us to worship today, but we are worshiping idols and people like phones, games, artists, American idols. We are putting money before God when God gave us life. So there's something we can learn from this lesson today: to refuse to worship idols, but never refuse to worship God. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were 10 times wiser than the man in Babylon, and I believe that God can make us 10 times wiser than the children of darkness in our generation. Yes. And with that, you should refuse to worship idols, but never refuse to worship God.